Hey guys, I'm watching one of the top live games right now to show you how you can take advantage of player perspective. And in this particular example, I'll be following a silencer. So they're initiating a high ground push. They're pretty far ahead by 20 kills and 30,000 gold, but still you can kind of see what his perspective is. He wants to get an early sheep on someone and then try and start off the fight, watching out for any sort of initiation tools. But there's only 4 heroes. There is 1 hero currently missing in the fight, and that is going to be the Death Prophet. He hears the exorcism and then he turns around and looks at his team. And look, for the past 10, like a few of those seconds, he wasn't actually watching his hero. Starting about like he's running away from the centaur after the stomp, and he doesn't think he has to worry about anything. At 40-16, he's actually not looking at his hero at all because he heard the exorcism and wants to find out where the Death Prophet is so that he can kill her. So then maybe like 3 seconds later, his hero comes into focus, and then he gets hexed up and focused down by the Dire, and then his team eventually runs away from this fight. But what's very important about this particular example is that heroes that have long range spells or heroes that need to get the jump on people, initiators in particular, don't actually look at their hero that much. And that's one big gripe that I have about directed camera. It like centers the camera on the hero. Like an initiator would be like right here, for example, instead of trying to look at what they're looking at, which is the enemy heroes when they're trying to, you know, when they're trying to jump in onto the enemy heroes, because they're usually like a blink dagger range away. So you can kind of take advantage of this in various aspects, and it's not super easy to do so, but you again, you have to realize that when your opponents have like very long range spells, like I think a very good example is a clockwork hook shot, you can take advantage of them just standing still, because if they're not standing still, they're usually looking for what target they want to initiate on. For example, if there's like a clockwork over here just sitting, he's going to look for a hook shot, and there's a clear line for him to the Earthshaker, and then he's going to hook. But he doesn't actually have he's not actually watching his hero on his screen. And there's going to be a few other instances of people not looking at their screen. If, you know, they're like walking from base to their lane and they're looking around at other lanes, maybe a rune's about to spawn and their camera's not actually on their hero. But always try and think about what your opponent is actually looking at, and you can actually take really big advantage of this. One main one is, like, well, let's say there's a huge team fight going on right now. There's 9 heroes involved, but let's say you're like a support, you had just gotten picked off and you can't actually join the fight. You don't have BOTs, you're on Radiant. The earliest you can, the quickest you can TP is to this T2, and then you have to walk all the way over here. This would be actually a really good time to ward. You could probably walk up here, place a ward over here during this big team fight, and no one would ever know on the opposite team, because they're not looking at that. They're looking at their screen. They're not looking at the minimap, for example. And if, like, let's say someone's like checking the rune, maybe you can hit a skill shot on them. Maybe they're just like standing still in the mid lane watching the top rune, and then your Lina, you can just hit a stun because they're not actually looking at the hero. That's not going to be as common, but there are still opportunities for that. Or like, let's say there's a clockwork here, maybe you can stand right next to him, like literally right next to him on top of his hero, and he won't even know because he's looking down here looking for a clear line to hook. So taking advantage of the like human factor in Dota is something that's not going to be easy, but it is something that you should always try and look for, and just try and put yourself in your opponent's shoes. And that not only does it apply to like what you think they're about to do, are they going to farm, are they going to split up, where are they going to gank, but also to what he's looking at on the map and what actions he's about to take. And I wish I still had the replay, but there was this like clockwork over here, and I was Nature's Prophet, and he was looking for a hookshot in the mid lane. I knew his screen was like right here, and he wasn't watching his hero, and then I just used a couple of treants to block his hookshot. And you could pretty much do this at all skill levels. At lower skill levels, you'll actually probably have people that are on their hero a lot more, so it might actually be harder at lower skill levels, but you should be able to take advantage of this at all skill levels. So good luck with that. Always remember the human aspect of Dota. There's always a human behind that hero that's playing, that's watching, that has to input action into his keyboard and process information from what's coming through on his monitor. So hope you learned something. Please subscribe at youtube.com/MerliniDota. Thank you. Have a good one.